Skol, Vikings Nation. Are you ready for the ride of the 2025 season? The Minnesota Vikings are diving headfirst into a new era, and it's all about J.J. McCarthy taking the reins as QB1. After a jaw-dropping 14-3 season led by Sam Darnold in 2024, the Vikings made a bold call to let him walk in free agency. Now, we're betting big on a 22-year-old rookie who's yet to throw a single NFL pass. Is this a genius move or a risky gamble? Let's unpack it. Last year, Sam Darnold resurrected his career with 4,319 passing yards and 35 touchdowns, earning his first Pro Bowl nod. That's the kind of stat line that makes you sit up and cheer. But the Vikings chose to pivot, handing the keys to McCarthy, their number 10 overall pick from the 2024 draft. The question buzzing in every fan's mind: can JJ live up to the hype and keep Minnesota in playoff contention? Here's the kicker. Some are already calling this move a potential regret. Darnold's late-season struggles, including a rough 245-yard, 1 touchdown, 1 interception playoff performance against the Rams, raised doubts about his ceiling. So, Vikings Nation, what do you think? Is McCarthy ready to lead, or should we have kept Darnold for one more year? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about where Sam Darnold landed after leaving Minnesota. The Seattle Seahawks swooped in with a massive 3-year, $100.5 million deal to make him their starting quarterback. That's right, our former QB1 is now suiting up in the Pacific Northwest, ready to throw to stars like Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp. Sounds like a recipe for success, doesn't it? The Seahawks' move came after trading away Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders, leaving a gap at QB. Seattle didn't hesitate, locking in Darnold despite his playoff stumbles with us. Reports say their pursuit of him was fast and furious, catching many NFL insiders off guard. With a revamped defensive line featuring 2025 first-round pick Gray Zabel, Darnold's got the tools to shine. But here's where it gets spicy. Some believe Darnold could have taken the Vikings deeper into the playoffs if he'd stayed. His 2024 regular season was electric, leading us to the second-best record in franchise history. So, Vikings fans, do you think Seattle's getting the better end of this deal, or are we better off with McCarthy's potential? Let me know below. Hold up, Vikings Nation. Did you hear about Tom Brady's influence on this whole saga? The 7-time Super Bowl champ, now a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, reportedly put the brakes on any plans to sign Sam Darnold in free agency. That's right. According to The Athletic, Brady wasn't feeling Darnold as the Raiders' next QB. Wild, right? Instead, the Raiders traded a 2025 third-round pick to the Seahawks for Geno Smith, reuniting him with new head coach Pete Carroll. They also drafted running back Ashton Jeanty at number 6 overall, pairing him with breakout star Brock Bowers to build a win-now offense. Brady's call was clear. He wanted a proven veteran over Darnold's roller coaster potential. This makes you wonder, did Brady see something in Darnold's game that made him hesitate? Or is he just banking on Geno's experience to push the Raiders into playoff contention? Vikings fans, what's your take on Brady's decision? Would Darnold have been a better fit for Vegas? Or is Geno the right call? Hit the comments. Now, let's zoom in on our new QB1, J.J. McCarthy. The Vikings are all in on this kid, and for good reason. He was drafted to be our franchise quarterback of the future. After missing his entire rookie season due to a meniscus injury, McCarthy's stepping into the spotlight with a roster that's arguably better than last year's 14-win squad. Talk about pressure. Minnesota invested a whopping $300 million in 14 new player contracts this offseason, building a powerhouse around McCarthy. With weapons like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson, plus a top-tier coaching staff led by Kevin O'Connell, JJ has everything he needs to succeed. ESPN reports the Vikings are very comfortable with his progress, noting he's looked stronger in off-season workouts. But here's the catch: McCarthy's got 0 NFL snaps under his belt, and some analysts, like NFL Spin Zone Scatalia, predict a rough 2025 with at most 8 wins. Vikings Nation, are you buying the hype around JJ? Or do you think he needs more time to develop? Let's hear your predictions. One thing raising eyebrows across Vikings Nation is our backup quarterback situation. After letting Darnold and Daniel Jones walk, the Vikings didn't chase big-name veterans like Aaron Rodgers. Instead, they traded for Sam Howell, a former Seahawks cut, on day 3 of the draft. That's a bold choice for a team with playoff aspirations. Sporting News flagged this as a potential red flag for 2025, arguing that not having a top-tier backup could haunt us if McCarthy struggles. Howell's got potential, but he's no proven commodity. If JJ stumbles early, the lack of a steady hand behind him could spell trouble for our postseason hopes. What do you think, fans? Should the Vikings have splurged on a veteran backup to push McCarthy? Or is Howell enough to hold the fort? And if JJ gets off to a rough start, would you want to see a blockbuster trade for someone like Baker? Here's a plot twist that's got Vikings Nation buzzing. Could Kirk Cousins make a shocking return to Minnesota? Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox listed the Vikings as a top landing spot for Cousins, who's now expendable in Atlanta after the Falcons moved to Michael Penix Jr. as their starter. Talk about a blast from the past. Cousins, who led us before Darnold, could bring a veteran presence to compete with McCarthy if our young QB isn't ready by the end of training camp. However, the Vikings front office seems all in on JJ, with no real leash on his starting role. They passed on re-signing Darnold or Jones to avoid any QB controversy. So, Vikings fans, would you welcome Kirk back with open arms? Or is it JJ's time to shine, no matter what? And if McCarthy struggles, should we even consider a trade for a vet like Cousins? Drop your hot takes in the comments. Let's talk about why the Vikings are still a playoff contender, even with a rookie QB. The Wilf family authorized a league-high $350 million cash payroll to build a roster that's loaded from top to bottom. We're talking Justin Jefferson torching defenses, TJ Hawkinson dominating the middle, and a defense that's only gotten nastier with new additions. ESPN notes this could be Minnesota's best shot at a championship run in 2 decades, thanks to the Wilfs' aggressive spending and extensions for GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and coach Kevin O'Connell. McCarthy's affordable rookie contract gives us cap flexibility to keep this roster stacked for the next 3 years. But here's the question, Vikings Nation. Can this elite roster carry a first-year starter to the promised land? Or do we need a seasoned QB to maximize this group? Let's debate it below. JJ McCarthy's stepping into some massive shoes after Darnold's 14-3 masterpiece in 2024. Fans and analysts alike are watching his every move, especially after a meniscus injury wiped out his rookie year. Some, like former NFL QB Tim Hasselbeck, believe JJ's made of the right stuff to handle the pressure, but others aren't so sure. Newsweek reported that teammate TJ Hawkinson is hyping up McCarthy, praising his leadership and potential. But with a tough schedule ahead, including a Week 1 clash against the Chicago Bears, JJ's got to prove he can handle the spotlight. A recent post on X even claimed he struggled in camp, raising some early concerns. Vikings fans, how confident are you in McCarthy's ability to rise to the occasion? If he throws a few picks early, will you stay patient? Or are you already nervous? Share your thoughts. Here's a silver lining for letting Darnold go. The Vikings are set to cash in on compensatory picks. According to Over the Cap's Nick Corte, we're projected to snag a 3rd-rounder for Darnold's departure to Seattle and a 4th-rounder for Daniel Jones' signing with the Colts. That's huge for building around McCarthy long-term. These picks give GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah more ammo to keep our roster elite. Plus, with McCarthy's cheap contract, we've got cap space to chase big free agents in 2026. It's all part of the master plan to make Minnesota a perennial contender. What do you think, Vikings Nation? Are these draft picks worth losing Darnold? Or should we have paid to keep him? And who would you target with that extra draft capital? Let's hear it. As we gear up for the 2025 season, the Vikings are at a crossroads. JJ McCarthy's got the keys to a playoff-ready roster, but the ghost of Sam Darnold's 14-win season looms large. With a brutal schedule and sky-high expectations, this is JJ's chance to prove he's the franchise QB we've been waiting for. The national media's already doubting us, with some predicting a drop to 8 wins or fewer. But with Kevin O'Connell's QB magic and a roster dripping with talent, I'm betting we'll surprise the haters. Vikings Nation, are you ready to rally behind JJ and make some noise in the NFC? Skol forever. If you're as pumped as I am for this season, smash that like button, Drop your predictions in the comments and subscribe for all the latest Vikings news and updates. Share this video with your fellow fans, and let's show the NFL why Minnesota's the team to beat in 2025.